Saloki received a cryptic letter detailing an artifact exchange involving Elias Wren, the Circle of Flame, and the ciphers. The letter, signed simply as J, hinted at a collaboration between factions usually at each other's throats. Intrigued and cautious, Saloki decided to enlist the help of her old ally, Arthur Xavier. She made her way to the Twilight Lounge in Silkshore Shadows, a place where the city's elite sought solace from its harsh reality. The Twilight Lounge was a realm of contrasts, with its opulent velvet booths and softly glowing chandeliers providing a stark contrast to the city's grim outside world. The walls, draped in vintage artwork and ornate tapestries, whispered secrets of a bygone era. It was here that Saloki found Arthur, slumped over the bar, his demeanor a stark contrast to the lounge's elegance. Saloki approached him, her eyes narrowing at the sight of Arthur's disheveled appearance. His clothes were wrinkled, and his eyes, bloodshot and weary, suggested he had been drowning his sorrows for some time. He took another swig from his glass before acknowledging her presence. Saloki, Xavier, how are you holding up? Arthur, glancing up with a pained expression. Saloki, why do you have to show up now? Can't you see I'm busy? Saloki, busy? It looks like you're just getting well acquainted with the bottom of that glass. You don't look well at all. Arthur sighs and takes another gulp. It's one of those days. So, did you find anything out about the message? Saloki, actually, yes. I've made some significant headway. I know who Mr. J is now. Arthur's interest was piqued. He signaled the bartender for another round, pushing one towards Saloki, who declined. Arthur, oh? And who is this Mr. J, then? Saloki. Mr. J is none other than Jerome Valeska, an old name that still sends shivers down the spine of Doskvol's underworld. He was recently broken out of jail by a group called the Crows, who are hiding out somewhere in Crow's Foot. The Dimmer sisters are livid about it. Arthur, frowning deeply, Jerome Valeska? Why in the world would he be involved with Elias Wren? And why would Elias be playing both sides with the Circle of Flame and the ciphers? It makes no sense. Saloki, that's why I need to speak with the Crows directly. They're the key to understanding this mess. Arthur takes a long, contemplative sip. And you think the ciphers will be able to help you unravel this? Saloki, yes, their connections and resources might give us the edge we need. Will you help me make that contact? Arthur hesitated, the internal struggle evident on his face. After a moment of contemplation, he nodded, albeit reluctantly. Arthur, all right, I'll get you in touch with the ciphers, but be aware the Crows are laying low. I've been to their hideout recently. They weren't home, but the place was heavily guarded. They're still licking their wounds from a recent conflict with us. During a mission involving Lanix prototype, the Circle of Flame attacked their base. They're not taking it lightly. Saloki, I read about that. You were there, weren't you? Helping the Crows? Arthur, I was there. The Crows were aiding us, the ciphers. I was just part of the operation. The papers got it wrong. They took the blame, but it wasn't entirely their fault. Saloki, I suspected as much. I'm currently infiltrating the Dimmer sisters, and I know the papers distort the truth. But this device linked to the echoes of a whisper, it's giving me a bad feeling. Arthur, what do you mean by that? Saloki, because Elias Wren is acting as a middleman for a device meant for the Circle of Flame. It's not how the heat wave operates. It's something more sinister. Arthur, that doesn't sit right with me either. Let's go, then. I know someone who might have more answers. As they left the Twilight Lounge, Saloki and Arthur braced themselves for a deeper dive into the tangled web surrounding Jerome Valeska and the mysterious artifact. Arthur guided Saloki to the Whisper's Sanctuary, where they would seek the help of Lysandra, the Whisper Grey, a former Dimmer sister turned independent information broker. Lysandra's Sanctuary, hidden in Crow's Foot, was a repository of arcane knowledge and occult artifacts. The journey through Crow's Foot was fraught with shadows and narrow alleyways. Arthur knocked on an unremarkable door, revealing a staircase that descended into darkness. The air grew colder as they went down, the faint glow of spirit wards casting eerie shadows on the walls. At the bottom, they entered a room brimming with mystical paraphernalia. Shelves were filled with ancient tomes, spirit jars, and enchanted trinkets. In the center stood Lysandra Gray, her presence both commanding and enigmatic. Her eyes, a deep, penetrating gray, seemed to pierce through their very souls. Lysandra, Arthur, it's been some time, and you've brought a guest. Arthur, Lysandra, this is Saloki. We're in need of your expertise. The stakes are high. Saloki, stepping forward. We need information about Jerome Valeska and his dealings with Elias Wren, the Circle of Flame, and the ciphers. The city's factions are at war, and we need to understand the connections. Lysandra regarded them thoughtfully, her gaze shifting to Saloki with an assessing look. Lysandra, Jerome Valeska, a name synonymous with darkness and chaos. I've heard whispers about his escape and the schemes he's weaving. Sit down. Let's see what the spirits have to say. Saloki and Arthur took their seats, watching as Lysandra began her ritual. Her chanting was a low murmur, and her hands moved in intricate patterns. The air shimmered with otherworldly energy as ghostly apparitions started to manifest. As Lysandra's chant reached a crescendo, a spectral figure emerged, a spirit of Marcio Keel, recently deceased. His face was a mask of anguish, and his eyes glowed with an eerie light. Lysandra, Marcio Keel, reveal to us what doom awaits. What must we do to avert it? Marcio, voice echoing with a hollow tone. A storm is on the horizon, a fire that will engulf all. Jerome Valeska, herald of chaos, bearer of doom. He has set the wheels in motion. The flames of destruction already threaten Doskvol's edges. Saloki, leaning forward, what actions should we take? How can we stop this impending disaster? Marcio, voice fragmenting, magic alone will falter. In the face of the coming storm, only those, with wills strong enough to alter fate, can change the outcome. Lives will be lost if action is not taken. Arthur, grimacing. But how? How do we change what's already set in motion? Marcio, eyes locking onto Arthur's. Seek the hidden truths, the buried secrets, within the city's heart. Allies and enemies are mere masks, obscuring the true threat. Valeska's madness is just the beginning. Greater darkness waits to be unleashed. Lysandra, her chanting softening. Marcio, what more can you tell us? How do we uncover these hidden truths? Marcio, flickering faintly. Look to the past, to old wounds that never healed. The answers lie where light does not reach. But beware, the cost of knowledge is steep. Only those willing to sacrifice will find the path to salvation. With those final words, Marcio's spirit faded, leaving a heavy silence. Lysandra's eyes fluttered open, and she let out a weary sigh. Lysandra, the spirits have spoken. The path ahead is fraught with peril. Tread carefully, Saloki Xavier. Doskvol's fate may well rest in your hands. Saloki, nodding resolutely. Thank you, Lysandra. We'll do everything in our power to stop Valeska and uncover the truth. Arthur, standing with a grim expression. We need to get to work. There's much to do. As they left Lysandra's sanctuary, the gravity of Marcio's warnings weighed heavily on them. The darkened streets of Crow's Foot seemed even more foreboding as they stepped into the night, their minds racing with the implications of the spirit's message. Saloki, we need to uncover those hidden truths, whatever it takes. Arthur, rubbing his temples. Agreed. We'll start by exploring the past, finding those wounds Marcio spoke of. We can't let Valeska's chaos consume Doskvol. Saloki, with a hint of concern. And don't forget to take care of yourself, Xavier. You look rough. Arthur, managing a wry smile. I'm aware. I need to go home and sober up, and maybe take a shower. Thanks for the reminder. Saloki, smiling faintly, good, and try not to get lost in the bottle. We need you sharp for this. As they parted ways, each felt the weight of their mission and the ominous threat of Jerome Valeska bearing down on them. The city's shadows seemed deeper, more threatening, as they each faced their own path in the labyrinthine streets of Doskvol. Arthur glanced back as he walked away, his figure a dark silhouette against the dim streetlights. Saloki also looked back, their eyes meeting in a silent agreement of determination. Both nodded, then disappeared into the labyrinth of the city, ready to confront the darkened future that awaited them.